Again, if you are in Flint, if you know someone in Flint, let them know there is water available here at the Triumph Church Flint campus. And as Pastor Johnson just told us, if you drive up to the church, there is a circular drive. You can come right to the front door and they will load your car with the water that you need. So this is the place that you need to come if you want water here in Flint. A lot going on, goodness gracious. You heard about the possibility that the Legionnaire's disease spike that has happened in Flint is possibly connected to the water. That has not been confirmed, but the governor tried to get in front of that one, finally tried to get in front of it, and said that this is a problem. Warren Evans, who is the Wayne County executive, has donated $650 to purchase water in Flint. She donated that to the Triumph Church, and so Executive Evans, that is greatly appreciated here. Also, if you are looking to be involved, we just talked to Chrissy Cooper of Catholic Charities. That's one place where you can get in touch, and they provide not only water, but meals and counseling and other things to Flint residents. This has been an interesting chapter in Michigan's history, in the nation's history. I've talked to a number of experts, a number of other journalist friends of mine. None of us has ever heard of an incident where residents were poisoned by their own government, and then the government denied it for over a year, saying it wasn't happening, saying it's not as bad. The expert from Virginia Tech, Dr. Edwards, tested the water and found out that in fact the lead levels were higher than had been previously reported or thought, and the governor and their folks criticized him and said that he was essentially a one-trick pony who was playing his trick again in Michigan. Well, it turns out he was absolutely right. When the doctor at Dr. Hannah Tisha at Flint Hurley Hospital announced that she had tested the lead levels in children and they were up since the water had switched over, they tried to criticize her as well. And those are some things, and this is me talking, but those are some things that make everything else that has happened even worse. When you make a mistake, you need to pay for your mistake, but when you lie about it and try to besmirch other people about it, it takes it to a whole new level, and we'll see where it goes. The governor is not able to do this without a spotlight on him now. We've got all kinds of things going on. The governor was finally forced to declare an emergency, and he has now deployed the National Guard to help with distributing water in the city of Flint. The federal government is investigating this. Loretta Lynch, the U.S. attorney, is now investigating this. There was also an EPA investigation going on, and the folks from FEMA have said that they have this on their radar. What was interesting about the FEMA story is that they said they were not contacted by the governor, that they heard about the story in the news and decided that they had to come in and act. One of the bits of video that is getting a lot of attention now, and you might want to go look it up, the governor was asked some questions just the other day at the auto show in Detroit about what he knew and when he knew it in Flint. He was also asked in Lansing when he met with Mayor Karen Weaver from Flint. And instead of trying to give some answer, he says, well, there's a comprehensive report coming out, and when that comes out, then you'll know. Well, Governor, you're right here in front of us. You can give us the answer. What did you know and when? Well, no, we're not going to piecemeal it. We're going to wait for a what in the world is going on? And I think a lot of folks saw that clip and they said, wait a minute, something does not smell right. And so he is trying to fend this thing off, not doing a very good job of it. There are lawsuits that have been filed. We actually interviewed the attorney from the ACLU maybe a couple of weeks ago, who indicated that she was filing a class action lawsuit against the state and the governor for what has happened with Flint water. And trust me, there will be a whole lot more of those, a number of folks trying to find out now how they can file lawsuits against what has happened to them. And a number of attorneys say that they're trying to bring those cases together to file one massive class action lawsuit. All of that is happening in the news. Probably the thing that has touched me the most are my colleagues in the media, in the news media. I have been following this story from the very beginning. In fact, I got to give Kurt Guyette from the ACLU a lot of credit. He turned us on to it. He broke much of this story as an investigator for the ACLU. And since we found out about it, we've been monitoring media to figure out if this had become a story. Well, in fact, the major media in Detroit weren't talking about it. Nothing had happened nationally yet. We broadcast live from here, and I'm very proud of that. I give our producer, Elena Fruget, a lot of credit for that. Those of you here who are clapping, give Elena Fruget a round of applause. She has did an outstanding job of getting us on top of this story. And now everybody and their mother's talking about it. Rachel Maddow has made this pretty much a series now. She's done at least 6 reports about this. I've read reports about it in the New York Times and the Washington Post, in Forbes, pretty much every major media news outlet in the country and around the world is talking about Flint now. The real question that a lot of folks want to know is what is going to happen to the young people and the families that have been affected by this water in Flint. We haven't heard any word yet as to any funds or any legislation or anything that's happening in Lansing that is going to ensure that these young people will have health care, will have monitoring, will have early education to try to mitigate some of the problems we know come with lead-laced water. We know it has permanent cognitive damage. We know that young people who've been exposed to lead often become behavior problems. We also know that they have health problems. We know that it affects education because a lot of these children with this lead-laced poisoning will be going into the schools in Flint. Do they have extra support and counseling and professionals to deal with young people that we know have been poisoned with lead? There's been no word about that. As a matter of fact, up until, maybe a week ago, the governor and the state weren't even providing water. When we looked into where is this water going, this water being collected, we found out that it was running out and that the state was not providing water. In fact, the governor was questioned about that and said that it was a part of some report, or I won't even try to repeat his answer, but clearly problems have occurred. First of all, and I want to make sure this is clear, we are concerned about the residents and the children of Flint. But once we have secured an answer for that, and that has not come yet, I think it's important that we have a thorough investigation into how this happened to find out where the culpability lies. Now, the hope is Loretta Lynch, the U.S. Attorney, will in fact uncover all of that and take action in her investigation out of Washington, and we are hoping for that. But just an incredible story that has happened here in Flint. We're glad to be here to be a part of it. Let me announce again before we have to go to a break that you can come here to the Triumph Church, the Flint campus, 1657 Broadway Boulevard. There are free cases of water that are sitting right in front of me here in the hallway. Pull on up, come up in the circular drive. The water is available for you. And if you want to donate water, you can come here as well, and they'll take your water. We want to distribute as much water in Flint as we possibly can here today. This is our 3rd trip to Flint for a live broadcast. We've brought water every time, and we are on a mission to not only get the information out and right the wrongs, but make sure that our brothers and sisters right here in Flint, Michigan, are taken care of, and that they have the water that they need, particularly the young people. I want to say thank you again to Pastor Solomon Kinlock and his wife Robin for allowing us to use this beautiful facility. We got to take a break, but when we come back, we'll have much more. Stay with us. This is AM 1200, 99.9 FM WCHB.